Well, hi folks, here we are again. Time to start preparing my exhibition carrot and parsnip mixture, which involves riddling about 250 litres of fine compost. I used to do it with a little hand riddle, little hand thing, and it took me about 3 days, but now I've, as you might have seen before, I've made myself a sort of a riddle with some wheels on, so I can get quite a lot done. So what I'm going to use is, it's called Levingtons F2+S, which is an F2 compost, which is actually a seed compost, so it's actually low nutrient with added sand. And I'm not going to add anything to it apart from a tiny bit more phosphate, because this year they've put slightly less phosphates in it, so I want to make it exactly the same as it was last year, and I know the makeup of last year's. So, but apart from that, I'm just going to put a bit of phosphate and a tiny bit of calcified seaweed in, about 5 ounces per 30 litres. But apart from that, it's just a matter of riddling the stuff to get it as fine as possible. The reason being is, when you're growing them in the tubes, you don't want to hit any little lumps, anything, any little bits of grit or tiny knobbles of compost. So that's why I'm putting this through a 5mm sieve. So that's about as small as you can do it realistically, otherwise if you do any smaller and it's not going to get anything out of it, it's just going to all be waste. So it gives me a chance to use my Christmas gloves. This stuff's really fine anyway, it's proper sort of professional stuff, so there shouldn't be much stuff in it, much rubbish. So what I've got some tarpaulins all around it and a lot of boxes underneath which should catch most of it, so I'll just get on and riddle it and see how much rubbish comes out. Like I say, it shouldn't be much because it is belting stuff, this. It is generally for the professional sort of grower in garden centres and stuff like that, nurseries. So we'll just have a look. There's a lump in there. We'll just knock a few of these lumps down and see how we get on. It's actually not doesn't seem to be any lumps in it whatsoever, any rubbish. So that should be a pretty quick job. So that's all there is out of that first, well, it must be 20 litres in the first pass. And that's all I've got out of it, was rubbish. Little tiny bit of coir and a few little nuggets of peat, and that's it. So like I say, it is fantastic stuff. So thankfully this stuff shouldn't take me too long to do. I used to use like stuff from the supermarket and the garden centres that had all sorts of twigs and rubbish in, and you were just, once you'd riddled it, you were throwing like 60–70% away, so it's a false economy. This stuff's only about £1 or £2 dearer than than some of your bog standard compost, but you know what you're getting with this. It's 100% peat, which please a lot of eco-friendly people, but like I say, at least you know what you're getting. With some of this green compost, you haven't got a clue what's in it. It's just, you're at the mercy of what people have thrown in the bins. So we'll get on and we'll just get it all done. I'm going to put about 250 litres of this through, so we'll get it all done and then I'll show you how I mix it, which is a pretty simple process too. Well, hi folks, there we go. That's 4 bags through. That's 300 litres now done. It's taken a while, but it's worth the effort, because if you look, it's a bit dark in here, but if you look at the sort of state of it, it's so fine, it's unbelievable, and nicely fluffed up. So no bits in it. I'm out of breath. So anyway, that's about it. We'll just get on and start mixing it now with the special ingredients, which aren't really that special, but they seem to make all the difference. So we'll just get on and get the mixer out and mix it, and then that's it, job done. Well, hi folks, I'm going to start mixing it now. I've already put 2 of these in, which is 10 litre pots of my compost that I've saved. So I'll put the final one in. God, I can't see, it's a big spotlight. And then I'll show you what I put in as additives. So, get in there now. Just a matter of getting it all mixed up, and then it's all ready for planting in sort of early April. So we'll chuck the last one in. I'll show you what I'm putting in. This stuff is calcified seaweed. I'm putting 5 ounces to every 30 litres. It's finely powdered, this stuff. I actually bought it powdered. I used to grind it up myself in a food grinder, but it's a lot easier to buy it already ground. So I'll chuck that in. And the other thing I'm adding is 48 grams exactly of superphosphate, because this year's compost is slightly lower in phosphates, I found out, so I'm going to try and get it exactly like it was last year, because I had such good results last year. So we'll chuck that in. It's not a lot, it's only like a tablespoon, but it makes all the difference. And then it's just a matter of turning the mixer on and letting it mix for about 10 minutes, get it thoroughly mixed up. It's all getting mixed in thoroughly, it's all falling through the back, so we'll leave that on for about 5 or 10 minutes so it's really well mixed, and then just a matter of bagging it all up really. I'll just chuck it out now. So that's it, really. Oh Christ, if I don't trip up over it. My first batch of about 10 batches of that, so that's me carrot mix done for this year. First batch of 10. That's it. So if you follow that, I did alright last year, you should do as well as I did, because it's not that hard really. Just a matter of sowing your seeds in the right stuff and in the right sand, and being a bit lucky. So that's about it folks, mixing this year's carrot compost. Well hi folks, that's it done then. 5 bags, 300 litres of compost done for my carrots and my parsnips. The only difference is the parsnip one was 2 parts compost to 1 part sieved John Innes number 2 with an extra 2 ounces of bloodfish and bone in, because they're like a bit of a more clayey sort of, not clay, a bit of a more soily mix rather than just pure compost. Anyway, that's it folks, 300 litres done. It's taken me about 3 hours altogether. I'm fed up with it. So the next job is to sort all the sand out and bore the holes, and we'll show you how we do that when that happens in about March time. So that's about it folks. See you later.